just unmuted myself. Welcome, welcome. Hello, friends. So wonderful to see your faces. Love starting the week by sharing space with you. I wanted to start today by sharing a quote. I've been collecting quotes on attention, and some of them you may have heard, but I think they're just really quite wonderful. This is by the late, great Mary Oliver. This is the first, the wildest, and the wisest thing I know, that the soul exists and is built entirely out of attentiveness. Isn't that wonderful? How about letting yourselves wiggle a little bit, wiggle and breathe, and let me read that to you once more. This is the first, the wildest, and the wisest thing I know, that the soul exists and is built entirely out of attentiveness. I just love that. And the great gift of really studying what is attention and what does it do for us is that attention is a nutrient. Now, I bet that today you've already had some water and maybe already some food, but have you given yourself a rich amount of attention? So I wanted to focus today on giving and receiving attention, and to ask you whether you are willing to receive. I think that the nozzle gets stuck a lot on the receiving end. That we have this sense of, yes, I'm giving attention, I'm being generous with my attention, and that we forget that being generous with ourselves is part of the equation. So I also was noticing that breathing and attentiveness, breathing and attention is something that we haven't played with in a while. And so I wanted to let you know that breathing and attention flow together so gorgeously, and it can really assist you in learning how to loop your attention. I've always felt that receiving comes with the in-breath. And so I'd like you to ask yourself, one, if you're willing to receive attention. Just ask yourself that, and then take a couple of breaths and notice what happens with your breathing. So for example, noticing if you get a nice big in-breath, or if your in-breath is a little bit hitchy, kind of sprockety, or if there are places that your in-breath doesn't feel as though it comes into you. So letting yourself see, I'm willing to fully receive attention. And go ahead and say that out loud so that you can hear yourself. I'm willing to fully receive attention, and then take a big abundant in-breath. And just notice, do you feel that you're really getting a nice big bellows in-breath? And notice if that's moving in you, if you can feel the breath moving in you, or if you have little places where you have a little drought, you have a little internal drought, and the attention isn't reaching all of the places in you. And then in our work, we've noticed that the out breath has most to do with expressing. So in breath, experiencing, out breath, expressing, because we already know out breath, giving. And give yourself a chance to notice the relationship between your in-breath and your out-breath. So giving attention to your in-breath and just noticing where does it go? Where does it make any other movement or attention want to happen in you? And then on the out-breath, do you feel that you are able to let that flow all the way out, or are there little hitches on your out-breath? And part of what we can do with our attention is just simply noticing, where are there little hitches, where does it slow down, where are there little bumps in the road, little speed bumps, And one of the things that people often do is they sort of rush through that. Like some people think if they go fast over a speed bump, it's going to work better. And their car mechanics can say, no, 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 that does not work. So what we have found is that kind of what Gay calls the cosmic iron of kind of slowing down through any hitch and letting your attention just be richly kind of spritzing and ironing and giving the nutrient of love to the little hitchy places in you. So I'd like you to, now this has all to do with attention. So we're bringing attention and breath together. So on the in-breath, see what we're doing is moving from fear to love through presence, and presence opens. Fear closes to protect us. Love opens, attention opens. So as you're breathing in and you're giving attention to you, just notice any closed places and let your in-breath flow into any of those closed places. And then on your out-breath, let your attention flow out and see if it goes all the way to actually connecting with something out there in the world. Could be in your immediate environment. It could be something that someone you're thinking of, and you let your attention and your out breath move all the way to them to kind of give them a little kiss, a little attentive kiss. Could be a little kiss on the cheek. It could be little butterfly kisses. And then back to you. So this doesn't have to be a program, but it can be very useful to put together your in-breath with giving attention to you and your out-breath with giving attention out there. So let yourself play with that for a few breaths. And you can do that letting the rest of your body move with you. You can do it more meditatively. But I want you to notice when you breathe in, does your attention come all the way into you? Does it travel around your body? Do you let it go into your feelings or into your body sensations? And then on your out breath, let your attention go out. And see, does your attention flow like when I turn the hose on, if they're, and I'm watering, which I do very attentively these days, very carefully, do you put any kinks in the hose? So does the nutrient actually get to go out, or do you put a little kink like you're afraid to, or you have a judgment, or you want to make sure you get enough? Does fear get in there? So letting yourself play with eyes open and also eyes closed. So I notice that a lot when people are attending to their breath, they tend to close their eyes, which is, that's fine, but it's not as effective for moving around in the world. So if you've been doing some eyes closed as you're breathing in and attending in and then breathing out and attending out, notice what would happen if you just gently opened your eyes. And you let yourself continue breathing in, attending in, breathing out, attending out, seeing where your attention wants to go, going around corners. And then let yourself play with how does your body, how does your movement want to play with that? How could you really give yourself even more attention by letting your gestures or your touch, you could maybe do love scoops as you're breathing in and attending into you. I find that adding the on both directions also opens up a lot more flow. So you might play with that as well. Just the basic attending in, letting all of that flow with your willingness to receive. Because you want to fill your reservoir and let the overflow go to others. So Don't be creating a drought for yourself because you're giving so much to others. Let it come from a very full, luscious reservoir that you're floating around in and enjoying all of that loving attention. And then there's lots for you to send out. And especially if you let your attention come back here, you're actually creating a flow of attention that it doesn't have to be it's all there or it's all here. The flow of attention actually generates more attention. Yeah, you got it, Kathy. Yeah, of the attention engine is really supported by you noticing that your loop of awareness doesn't have to have a break in it. It can just keep flowing. So that's a lot of parts to coordinate. You got your breath, you got your eyes open or your eyes closed, you got your receiving, you got your expressing. But for those of you who like to have a good project, this will give you a great project for the week of how to put all these different Lego parts together in a way that's enjoyable for you. So I want to add in one other element too, which is your, like, I noticed Darlene standing, and noticed Marshall standing. So, and Annie. So I'd love to have all of you stand so that you're adding in more of the vertical dimension. You're also feeling your feet and you're just adding in, how does your body want to move as you're experiencing, giving attention to you, breathing, receiving, giving attention out, breathing out, expressing, connecting. I can shape my attention now so that I can actually feel it land on somebody, even if they're not in the same space. So I want you to add in, whether it's a, or a drop of love, or it's a kiss, or it's just focusing, or a feather tickle, a little marker of your letting your attention go out and letting your attention come in, and just adding in that part of, excuse me, of how your body wants to move in response to attention. It can be big or little. And then also adding in any sounds that want to come as you're adding in attention. Just playing with all of that for a few minutes. Yeah, beautiful. And what I often find when I get the flow of attention going is that it opens up my creativity. So notice if you're getting any creative thoughts, or you're feeling a lightening in you, or you're just noticing more bubbling. So even when you're stuck, you can do this movement of receiving, expressing, experiencing, expressing, letting that attention flow, because it can start very little. We can let that flow continue to support us. Oh, yes. And now add in sound. Add in any sound that's wanting to spontaneously come as you're playing. And also, I find it valuable to notice, am I focusing more? Do I have more juice on the expression or more juice on the experience? I'm guessing for most of you that there's more juice on the expressing, on the giving. So I want you to open up to num, 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 num. You could even get a little greedy. Grab, like you get a whole bunch of cosmic stickers and you put them on you. Yeah. So you feel nicely plumped up. All of your cells feel plumped up with attention. That whole thing that it's better to give than receive. Well, what if it were better to give and receive? I think it's much better to give and receive. And I have my own little personal, it's my own little personal reminder, which is this. This move is how I remind myself that I get some as well as giving some. So it might be fun for you this week to find your own personal little reminder. What's something that you can do? You're sitting working on your computer or you're in a Zoom meeting. What's a little signal you could create for yourself? You're welcome to use this one, totally welcome. And if there's one that you kind of spontaneously do that reminds you of, okay, give and receive, give and receive, that can be a little clue for you during the week to get your energy and attention pump functioning again fully. Wonderful. All right. Well, I'm going to continue getting my energy pump moving. And thank you so much for joining me today. And you're welcome to stay on and chat with each other and share things. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah. Take care.